You've been lied to about what drives women to sleep with men. It's not about looks, it's not about money, and it's not even about love. The truth will shock you, because women are wired to give themselves only to men who pass 4 hidden laws. And if you fail even one, she'll never see you the same way again. That's right. All your life you've been sold the wrong story. Movies, social media, even your friends will tell you women choose sex because of attraction, romance, or chemistry. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most men who believe that end up rejected, ghosted, or stuck in a sexless relationship. Because women don't sleep with men for the reasons men assume. They sleep with men for survival, for psychology, for instincts buried so deep, even she doesn't realize what's driving her. And when you finally understand this, everything about dating, relationships, and female nature will click into place. Let me give you a story. A guy I knew, tall, good-looking, ripped, the type of guy other men assumed had no trouble with women, and yet he couldn't keep them. They loved the idea of him, but not the reality of him. Why? Because behind the muscles and the Instagram photos, he couldn't make women feel emotionally safe. He would snap in arguments, disappear for days, and come back acting like nothing happened. Guess what? Women used him for attention, but when it came to intimacy, they always held back. Contrast that with another man. Average-looking, ordinary job, nothing flashy. But when women were around him, they opened up. They trusted him. They chose him over the better men. Why? Because he passed the hidden laws. He created emotional safety. His actions matched his words. He never lost composure. And he respected boundaries. And for that reason alone, women gave themselves to him willingly. Here's what most men don't realize. Attraction might get her attention, but it won't get her body. Passing these 4 hidden tests is what flips the switch in her psychology. Without them, you're just a placeholder. With them, you're unforgettable. And let me be brutally clear, this isn't about playing games or tricking women. This is about becoming the type of man women cannot resist, because these 4 drivers are hardwired into their biology and psychology. They don't get to choose them. They don't get to override them. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what those 4 hidden drivers are, and why most men fail them without even realizing it. And I promise you this, reason 4 is the one every woman denies, but it's the one that matters most. Every man thinks women sleep with the guy who excites them the most, the tall one, the rich one, the alpha with the flashiest lifestyle. But here's the shocking truth. None of that matters if she doesn't feel emotionally safe. Think about it. For women, sex isn't just physical, it's psychological. It's risk, it's vulnerability. A woman can get pregnant, she can be judged, she can be shamed. Whether she admits it or not, every part of her biology screams, only open yourself to the man who makes you feel safe. Here's what that means for you. If you make her feel unsafe, she will close her body off to you. And it doesn't matter how good-looking you are, how much money you make, or how charming you sound. Unsafe men don't get sex. Period. And here's the controversial part. Women will happily sleep with an average man who makes them feel safe over a perfect man who doesn't. That's why you see beautiful women choosing guys you'd call boring or ordinary while rejecting the so-called prize. She's not looking for thrills, she's looking for protection, and protection doesn't come from abs. It comes from your ability to create emotional safety. So what destroys emotional safety? Judgment. If she feels like you criticize or shame her, she shuts down. Inconsistency. If she never knows where she stands with you, her guard stays up. Aggression. If you blow up, shout, or lose control, her biology screams danger. Here's a story that proves it. A woman I interviewed once said, "I didn't sleep with the guy I thought was hot because every time I talked about my feelings, he made me feel stupid. But the guy who really listened, the guy who made me feel like nothing I said was dumb, he's the one I wanted to be with. Men, that's your wake-up call. You're so focused on attraction hacks and pick-up tricks that you miss the fundamental truth. Women open their bodies only when they feel safe to open their minds. But here's the paradox. Being nice isn't emotional safety. A lot of men confuse the two. You can buy her flowers, take her to dinner, shower her with compliments, and still fail. Because emotional safety isn't about spoiling her. It's about making her feel she won't be judged, abandoned, or attacked when she's vulnerable. That's why men who mock women, who dismiss emotions, who act arrogant, they get attention but not intimacy. Women may flirt with them, but when it comes to actually letting them in, they hesitate, and hesitation is rejection. So here's the punch. She doesn't sleep with the man who excites her most. She sleeps with the man who makes her feel safest. And now you understand the first hidden driver. But safety alone isn't enough, because the moment your actions don't match your words, you'll lose her trust and her desire. That brings us to reason 2, and this one stings: consistency. Men love to talk a big game. They'll promise the world, they'll say the right words, they'll flash the charm on the first date. But here's the truth women never say out loud. She doesn't care what you say once. She cares if you live it every day. Consistency is the hidden driver most men fail. It's not enough to impress her one night. It's not enough to show her a glimpse of strength or charm or ambition. If your actions don't match your words, her attraction will die. And here's the part that most men can't handle. A woman's attraction isn't fixed. It shifts with her age, her circumstances, and the stage of life she's in. Think about that for a second. The man she was drawn to at 19, wild, exciting, chaotic, is not the same man she wants at 29. At 19, she might sleep with the bad boy. At 29, she might crave the man who's stable. At 39, she might look for the man who offers peace. Attraction evolves, adapts, and shifts like the seasons. And if you don't evolve with it, you'll be replaced. This is why consistency matters. It's not just about showing up. It's about proving over time that you are reliable, grounded, and steady, no matter what stage she's in. Because here's the harsh reality. If she can't predict your actions, she can't trust you. And if she can't trust you, she won't desire you. Let me be provocative here. Women don't leave because they fell out of love. They leave because your actions stopped lining up with your words. You told her one thing, you lived another. And when that gap opens, respect evaporates. And without respect, intimacy dies. Example: a man tells his woman he's ambitious, that he's chasing his goals. She's attracted, until she realizes he spends every night drinking, scrolling, wasting time. Words said ambition. Actions screamed mediocrity. Attraction gone. Another man promises loyalty, but flirts with every woman at the bar. His words say, trust me. His actions say, you're not enough. Attraction gone. Here's the red pill truth men don't like. Women are always scanning you for contradictions. If you say one thing and do another, they feel it instantly. They won't confront you directly. They'll just slowly pull back. The intimacy dries up. The connection fades. And before you realize what's happening, she's already halfway out the door. Consistency is attraction insurance. Without it, everything else collapses. With it, you can carry attraction through every stage of her life. And this is where most men fall apart. They think attraction is something you win once. Wrong. Attraction is rented, and the rent is due every day. But even consistency isn't enough if you can't pass the next test. Because sooner or later, life will throw chaos your way. And when that storm hits, she's watching one thing above all else: your composure. Men, let me be brutally clear. Every woman you've ever been with has tested your composure. Not once, not twice, constantly. And most of you failed without even knowing it. Here's the fact. When a man loses control, when he yells, when he sulks, when he storms out, he thinks he's showing passion, but to her, he's showing weakness. Every emotional outburst is proof you can't handle pressure, and nothing kills attraction faster than that. Think about it. For thousands of years, women survived by choosing men who could stay calm when the wolves came, when the village burned, when the storm hit. That wiring hasn't changed. Today, the wolves are bills, arguments, and stress. But the psychology is the same. She's watching you to see if you break or if you lead. Here's a hard pill to swallow. Women equate emotional stability with strength. You can be ripped, wealthy, or charming, but if you crack under pressure, she sees you as unreliable. And once that switch flips in her mind, it's over. You lost your composure, and she lost her respect. Respect dies first. Desire dies next. And here's the controversial part. Women will push you to your breaking point on purpose. Yes, they will test you. They'll push buttons, create tension, spark drama. Not because they enjoy chaos, but because they need to know, can this man stay grounded when everything around him shakes? If you pass that test, her desire for you deepens. If you fail it, she withdraws. Simple as that. Example, a man gets into an argument with his woman. She raises her voice. He raises his louder. She storms out. He follows, screaming. In his head, he's standing his ground. In her head, he's a child. She wanted a man who could absorb pressure. What she got was a man who collapsed under it. Attraction, gone. Now flip the script. Same fight. She raises her voice. He stays calm. Doesn't match her chaos. Speaks steady, controlled, grounded. Doesn't threaten, doesn't flinch. Just calmly holds his frame. Suddenly the energy shifts. She might keep yelling, but in her biology, something unlocks. She sees strength. She sees reliability. She sees a man she can trust, even in the storm. That man, he keeps her attraction. So here's the fact. Composure isn't optional. It's survival. You're not just leading her through good times. You're proving you can lead through chaos. And if you think this is tough, wait until you hear the final driver. Because nothing challenges a man's strength more than this one. And if you get it wrong, you don't just lose her desire. You lose her respect forever. That final test. Respecting boundaries. Men, this is the one you'll struggle with most, because everything in you tells you to chase, to push, to prove yourself. But here's the shocking truth. The more you ignore her boundaries, the less she desires you. Let me spell it out. Women don't sleep with the man who pressures them. They sleep with the man who respects their independence, their space, their choices. Why? Because respect signals strength. It tells her you're not desperate, you're not needy, and you're not afraid of losing her. Here's the brutal fact. Desperation repels, restraint attracts. Men think persistence is romantic. Hollywood told you that, society told you that. But what does it actually communicate? Weakness. When you chase her relentlessly, when you trample her boundaries, you're not showing passion. You're showing that you have no options. You're showing that your world revolves around her approval. And that's the fastest way to kill her desire. Now here's the part most men can't handle. Women will sleep with the man who respects their no more than the man who tries to argue his way past it. Why? Because when you respect her boundaries, you prove control, you prove strength, you prove that you're a man she can trust, even when she's vulnerable. Remember this, the man who pressures her never wins long term. The man who respects her boundaries makes her want to cross them herself. Think about that for a second. When a woman feels her no is respected, her guard drops, her body relaxes, her desire grows. Why? Because you've shown her she's safe, and nothing is more sexually liberating for a woman than feeling safe with a man. Here's the brutal truth. Women don't open their bodies to the man who overwhelms them. They open their bodies to the man they can't control. When you respect her boundaries, you send a silent message. I don't need this from you. I'm good without it. And that flips a switch in her psychology. Because the moment she realizes she can't bend you with sex, that's the moment she wants you more than ever. So let me be clear, respect isn't weakness, it's power. Weak men push because they're afraid to lose. Strong men respect because they know they won't. And women feel that difference instantly. Now you know all 4 drivers: emotional safety, consistency, composure, and boundaries. But the real question is, what does it all mean for you? Because if you understand these truths and live them, women will choose you without hesitation. Ignore them, and you'll keep losing to men who figured it out. So let's strip away the illusions. You've been told it's looks, you've been told it's money, you've been told it's love. But now you know the truth. What actually drives women to sleep with men are 4 hidden laws: emotional safety, consistency of actions, composure under pressure, and respect for boundaries. That's it. Those are the drivers. The triggers buried so deep in her psychology that even she can't explain them. But if you master them, you don't chase women, women chase you. And here's the controversial part. If you understand these laws, you can sleep with endless women. Why? Because the average man fails them. Most men crumble under pressure. Most men contradict their words. Most men disrespect boundaries. And most men make women feel unsafe. That's why women are starving for men who pass these tests. Now here's the warning. This isn't about tricks. This isn't about pickup lines or fake confidence. This is about becoming a man women can't resist because you embody what they're biologically wired to want. When you live with these principles, you'll never run out of options. You'll never wonder if she desires you. You'll never be left begging for intimacy. But you must stay on mission. Women don't want a man whose entire world revolves around them. They want a man who's grounded in his purpose, his vision, his mission. When you keep your frame, when you stay focused on building yourself, women will orbit around you. Options will appear naturally. And desire? It becomes automatic. Think about it. The men who struggle with women are always the ones who make her the mission. But the men who thrive, they make the mission bigger than her. And paradoxically, that's what pulls her in. She wants to be part of a man's world that doesn't collapse without her. That's what drives her to sleep with him, to submit to him, to follow him. So, men, here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't sleep with men because of romance. They don't sleep with men because of good looks. They sleep with men who embody these 4 hidden drivers, allowing her to submit and express her deep desires. Master this, and you'll never chase again. You'll attract, you'll command, you'll lead, and you'll never forget these words. A woman doesn't give her body to the man she loves. She gives it to the man she trusts, respects, and cannot resist. If this shook you, if it opened your eyes, hit that like button. Share this with a brother who needs to wake up, and subscribe to the channel. Support the mission using the link in the description below. The question is, now that you know what drives women to sleep with men, what are you going to do with it?